Michael Mann is Distinguished Professor of Atmospheric Science at Penn State University. He's author of The New Climate War. And Michael, great to have you with us.
Great to be with you.
Okay, now your book, The New Climate War, it documents how fossil fuel companies have muddied the waters about climate change for about 30 years, trying to deflect blame for their role in this climate crisis. So with that in mind, I want you to listen to part of the testimony from a guy called Mike Wirth, CEO of Chevron, one of 4 big oil companies summoned before lawmakers in Congress. Here he is.
While our views on climate change have developed over time, any suggestion that Chevron is engaged in an effort to spread disinformation and mislead the public on these complex issues is simply wrong.
A similar line came from all of the other executives as well who appeared. Have at it.
Well, you know, fossil fuel interests for the better part of a half century now have been funding front groups and organizations that played a critical role in attacking the science of climate change, attacking scientists like myself, undermining public faith in the science and the scientists, and pretty much doing everything they could to prevent any meaningful action on climate. And so here we're just hearing a new form of denial. They've gone from denying climate change to denying that they denied climate change and to denying that they've engaged in underhanded efforts for decades to try to block meaningful action on climate.
During this hearing, Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna said that these oil executives were essentially facing a very stark choice. Listen to this.
Today, the CEOs of the largest oil companies in the world have a choice. You can either come clean, admit your misrepresentations and ongoing inconsistencies, and stop supporting climate disinformation, or you can sit there in front of the American public and lie under oath.
It would seem they chose to lie, just like the bosses of Big Tobacco chose to lie about nicotine and addiction during a similar hearing in 1994. But why make that choice?
Well, I guess they figure they've backed themselves into a corner. They're so heavily invested now in fossil fuels. So much of their net assets are buried in the ground in the form of proven fossil fuel reserves. And if they're not able to access and sell those assets, they know they're going to go under. And so they've backed themselves in a corner. And it's unfortunate because if they had taken a more enlightened path decades ago, recognized what their own internal scientists were telling them, because back in the early 1980s, ExxonMobil's own scientists in an internal report described the potential consequences of continued fossil fuel burning as catastrophic. If ExxonMobil executives had listened to their own scientists and had steered a different path back then, we would all be better off and they would still have a viable business model.
This House committee says that between 1990 and 2018, these 4 companies, Exxon, Shell, BP and Chevron, reported profits of close to $2 trillion, adding that we are also concerned that to protect those profits, the industry has reportedly led a coordinated effort to spread disinformation to mislead the public and prevent crucial action to address climate change. And the issue here is not just what has happened in the past, but it's what the fossil fuel industry is doing right now. You know, they're lobbying against parts of the Biden administration's plans to cut carbon emissions. This is ongoing.
Yeah, and you know, this is what I describe in The New Climate War. It's this evolution from denial, because you can't deny climate change anymore. People can see that it's happening. We've all been experiencing the devastating consequences of climate change. So they know they can't deny that it's happening anymore. And instead, they have engaged in a variety of other tactics, even more insidious tactics, in their effort to keep us addicted to fossil fuels and to prevent us from transitioning to clean energy. And that consists of dividing climate advocates, deflecting attention away from the needed policies, systemic changes, to individual behavior, as if it's just a matter of you and me changing light bulbs. They don't want policies that will hurt their bottom line, but which are ultimately necessary if we're going to achieve the reductions in carbon emissions that are necessary. And they've been promoting false solutions. They've been engaging in denial tactics, like claiming that we can just engage in a massive carbon capture and sequestration, or geoengineering, manipulating our planetary environment in some other way to try to cover up the effects of carbon pollution. What could possibly go wrong?
Michael, we'll leave it there. We're out of time, but thank you very much for being with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.